Let's go to the Zoom machine and say hello to the one and only Benson Smooth Henderson. There he is. Benson, how are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, Ariel?
I mean,
talking mess already.
you keeping me waiting here 10 minutes late. What's the excuse? Benson? What, you're too big time for me now? Oh, you got the kids. Okay, well, that's a good excuse. That's a good excuse.
Tolerate those guys around. That's the excuse.
Okay, fair enough.
That's not the excuse. That's the reason.
That is the reason. Man, I love seeing you up there with your kids. How much fun is that to be able to do this and have, I know they're young, but to have them a part of it at the tail end of your career, to experience all of this with your kids. How rewarding is that?
That part was my favorite part of the whole night, being able to have my kids there. 'Cause I am a little older and I'm not sure how much longer I'll be doing this, all that sort of stuff. So them being able to watch at least one fight live, that was cool. I definitely dug that.
Was that their first time at one of your fights?
My oldest, my 6-year-old, Kyung, he was with me in Korea when I fought Mazda. But he was like, I think 9 months old at the time.
Right.
So I said he was 6 months old. So it was nice to be able to have a fight that he might be able to remember when he's a little bit older.
Right. Does he understand like what you're doing? He gets what you do for a living now, right? He's at that age.
Yeah, he's at the age. He understands. He's still. I just think it's the coolest thing. He's like, yeah. I'm like, no, it's cool. Trying to convince him, like, no, it's really cool. It's really awesome. He's like, nah, everybody does that. You see all his gym uncles at the gym and whatnot, all his uncles, they all do it. So it's not that big a deal to him. Oh yeah, I saw Uncle Joe on TV. Oh yeah, Uncle Tino's on TV. Oh, my Gino's on TV all the time. Like, it's not a big deal to him. So he lives in a little bit of a different world than when I was a 6.
Does he react differently to seeing you fight as opposed to his mom fight?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. They watched Mommy on TV last time.
Yeah.
But they were just excited in general, seeing Mommy on TV, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. You know what blows my mind? I was looking at this yesterday. You have now spent 6 years in Bellator. You spent 4.5 in the UFC, 2 years in WEC. For some reason, I still feel like we associate you with UFC and WEC, maybe even WEC and you've now spent longer in Bellator. Did you realize that?
I did not realize that. Somebody, a journalist, had mentioned that to me, and that does blow my mind. That's definitely a little bit different to me. The fact that it's been that long, the fact that I've done as not well, not so good in the Bellator, also on top of that. But yeah, that's pretty crazy to me for sure.
Was that the last fight on your Bellator contract?
That was the last fight of the Bellator contract. So we'll see where we go from here.
Did they try to re-sign you beforehand? Were there any talks?
No real talks from Bellator, but the same thing happened the last time as well. We didn't really talk to them at all. Fought out the contract, and then at the end of the fight, the last fight, then we renegotiated. So I would assume the same thing would happen this time, but we'll see.
Do you want to resign with them? Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. For sure. I want to resign with Bellator. I want to get a Bellator belt around my waist. I need that Bellator belt.
What's up, bud?
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What's your name? Kyung. What a great name. You're the man. Do you want to be a fighter like your dad?
Huh?
Do you want to be a fighter too?
No.
Good. I think that's a... Do you want... What do you get there? Did he get a surprise box? My kids love... What does your other son have there? What's his name?
Other one is Cub.
Cub. Is that a surprise box? What is he playing? What do you got there, bud? What is that, a surprise box? What great hair.
What is this?
So,
It's a Roblox.
A Roblox? Oh, man. You got to play Roblox with my kids. They love Roblox. Hello. How are you? Look at you, Benson. You got the whole crew there. And what's her name?
my daughter, she is Nightly.
Man, I remember you when you had no kids, Benson. You were just single fighter. Selfish single fighter.
A lot easier than chasing four of them around, making sure they're not
Well, you have
too many.
You have 4 kids now?
Yep. Young, Cub, Koa, and Nightly.
Wow. God bless. How old is the youngest?
Niley is 1.5.
Okay. So you're happy there? You feel like they treated you well? You would be open to resigning?
Oh, for sure. Actually, I feel bad for Bellator. I feel like I underperformed my contract for Bellator. They pay me a lot of money. So I think that I should have done a better job for Bellator. They, didn't do what they brought me over for. Being a big, huge free agent signing, like, that carries weight. That carries implications with it. Supposed to bring a Super Bowl title. If you're a big free agent like that, you're supposed to bring the back to your team. And I don't think I did that. I don't think I ever had great performances. I think in the WC and the UFC, I had some great performances. And I think that's what Bellator mostly paid for, is the performance. They wanted high reels. They wanted that kind of stuff, And I didn't give that to them.
So why do you think that is? Why did it not click for you there?
Yeah. First of all, people always forget it's your opponent, people who you're facing off against. So Bellator, the fighters who I faced off against, they all did a great job. They all they purposely didn't want me to have a highlight. They didn't want me to get my hand raised. So always got to give props to the fighters themselves first off, and they all did a good job. They all made sure that they gave me a tough time, and other than that, I think anytime you go to a new organization, it's all the same once the door closes. Once the cage gets locked, it's you and him, and that's it. The referee, but otherwise it's all the same. But like the behind the scenes, getting used to the people, getting used to checking in, the different protocols they have, the different scenarios that they do and everything, that is all different. And I wouldn't say it affects you, but it just takes a little while to get used to. So anytime you went down, okay, go sit down. So all that definitely takes a little bit getting used to.
And so when you when you're reaching the end of the contract and you haven't unfortunately want to fight, I think it was 3 years, right? 2019. Did you feel a lot of pressure going to this when you're at home, right?
Really?
Yeah, it was 2019 last I checked. I mean, unless I'm wrong. Am I wrong about that? No, the last win was Miles Jury, September of 2019.
I hadn't won in 3 years.
You didn't realize that?
That
sounds
sounds terrible.
Well, I guess 2.5 because it's September of 2019 and it's January of 2022. I was just going off the years, but I mean, that's a long stretch for you.
That's a very long stretch.
I guess it didn't weigh on you. I guess you weren't thinking about that.
No, I wouldn't think about it. But ACL surgery in there. One ACL surgery. Yeah, ACL surgery in there. I took my right knee after in the Jason Jackson fight. So I mean, give me a little bit of leeway. It sounds like. Go on, no more. It sounds. You have to wait. It sounds like an excuse, and maybe it is an excuse, but 2.5 years, but 9 months of that, was rehab from ACL surgery. So
right,
I'll take that.
Now, have you talked to Eagle FC? You mentioned Eagle FC.
What's that?
You talked about Eagle FC last week. Have you actually talked to those guys about joining them?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to fight for Bellator, or I might be done.
Really?
That's where I see it as right now. I mean, somebody else might come with the offer I can't say no to.
Yeah.
So some big numbers, I'll be like, okay, well, sure.
Yeah.
But for me, I want the Bellator belt around my waist. The Bellator belt, I want that one around my waist. And, they pay me a lot of money. I got to make sure I get my due justice. I don't want to fight for pennies or nothing like that. I only need money, so it's fine. I've done really well in my career. I'm not necessarily fighting for money, but it's the principle of it. I know how much I'm worth. So the principle of it, I can't really fight for, when I'm not, more than I'm worth, less than I'm worth.
Would you be at peace with walking away if it doesn't work out? Like if it ends right now, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, for sure. I would have been okay with it before the last fight, but with the last fight going the way it was, having my two older boys in the cage with me, in the hand raise in the my hometown, adopted hometown, Phoenix, Arizona. There's probably no better way to go out than that right there. No more.
I'll just ask you a couple more, and then I'll let you go back to the kids. Are you?
No worries.
Are you still competing with the toothpick? What's the word? What are we doing?
You go with them, I got them. I try not to have a toothpick anymore. It was just a bad habit. I try not to.
Crazy. It's one of the craziest
But,
things I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, you know. Now, I always told my mom, told me that those guys saw my dad with a toothpick in his mouth. So then I would copy him, and I'd be 7, 8, 9 years old, running around with a toothpick in my mouth, and she'd be all scared, like, "Oh, take it out." And then when I had my oldest, I envisioned my 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old son running around with a toothpick in his mouth, and I was deathly afraid. Like, no,
Yes.
you could get really hurt. Now I try not to do the whole toothpick thing just because I'm worried about them copying me. So
Sure.
I try not to.
Can I ask you a question? Something I've always wanted to ask you. Like, I think this was a thing in your last fight. When you do the thing with your finger to the sky, right? That's like your pose, like showing love. But when you do it at the weigh-in, sometimes you're so skinny, it looks like your pants are about to fall down, Benson. Why do you do that? I mean, you're really literally on the edge there. Why do you let them come down like that? Why don't you get them a little tighter, the pants? It's a little bit scary, no?
It's because I am down the weight. The pants, they normally do. Wait about 24 hours and the pants get more normal. But the pose is, all about giving glory to God first and foremost. For glory is due. That's what it's all about for me. Then we like to take credit for ourselves. And I did this and I did that, and I'm the one who accomplished this. And I beat this guy. But they forget that it's not you by yourself who did all that. I accomplished it.
Right.
Through Christ who strengthens me.
All right. I just see it sometimes they're like about to fall down, and we don't want that. We don't want wardrobe malfunction.
Well, thankfully.
I saw you shooting hoops at the media day. I feel like you're trying to, it's like one of those things. Like you had the big money fight, you had the one-on-one, and it's just like now you're trying to get me back in, but it's like I've sort of moved on. There's bigger offers.
I'll put on the TV screen.
You know what I mean?
I think that we can. Everybody's doing all these big time pay-per-view buys, boxing matches. Let's set it up one-on-one, put it on YouTube, charge like $2.99, make
Once
millions of dollars.
10 years in the making. I mean, this is 10 years in the making, Benson. Me and you talking smack about this. You ran.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
All right.
I'm gonna go to New York. Bring the family to New York. Let them have a little vacation. And we're gonna come just to play you. That's it. That's the sole trip is have a little vacation, and then I'm gonna smash you in basketball.
All right. I'll see. You've been talking a lot. I'll see. Congrats on the win. I know a lot of people were counting you out in that one. You had the big, strong Russian wrestler. You did great in it. And I hope that they give you what you are owed and you re-sign, and we get to see a few more Benson Henderson fights for the next couple of years.
I thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show, man.
All right. Talk to you soon. And my best to your family. There he is, Benson Henderson, the former WEC champion, the former UFC champion.